This is social media video showing the dismantling of a crane at a Kelowna high-rise before it collapsed on Monday. It was taken by one of the construction workers who was tragically killed in the disaster and was posted to Instagram the very morning of that collapse. And tonight, we've learned that 5 men lost their lives when that massive piece of equipment came crashing to the ground. Good evening. 4 of the dead are construction workers. The 5th man killed was inside a neighboring business when the crane slammed into the building and buried him. And tonight, his body has still not been recovered. CTV's Michelle Bernaro is live in Kelowna. And Michelle, some of the victims have now been identified, including 2 brothers.
Yeah, Scott, it's such a tragedy. 2 brothers connected to a family-owned construction company that was working here have been identified as among the victims. Another one of the victims, we're told, was a crane rigger. When this crane in behind me collapsed yesterday, the boom, the sound of that so loud, it could be heard from many blocks away. Behind the police lines, a mess of twisted metal and broken concrete.
Just a tragedy what happened here. It's like, I've never seen something like this before.
It was just before 11 Monday morning that the 911 calls started coming in.
It was really chaotic. I mean, a lot of police were everywhere, ambulance, fire truck.
A crane attached to a high-rise under construction and, according to the developer, in the process of being dismantled, suddenly collapsing. One witness in the adjacent building says she heard a loud bang and then saw a hole in her wall.
And the rubble was falling, there was smoke everywhere, and I looked down and my boss had his head down like this, and I yelled at him. He lifted it up, and then I started moving stuff. We got him out.
Police say 4 men at the worksite died. Efforts continue to find a 5th man who was working in a nearby building.
That when the crane collapsed, it buried this person in rubble, and they believe to be deceased. That individual's body has not yet been recovered.
One of the workers killed has been identified through a fundraising page, as well as by a former colleague, as Jared Zook.
He was a really nice kid, like the most nicest kid you'll ever meet.
Another fundraising page identifies brothers Patrick and Eric Stemmer as victims as well. Their family owns Stemmer Construction, which was involved in building the high-rise. Patrick Stemmer posted this video to social media from high up the crane before the collapse. It appeared on Instagram the very morning of the collapse and shows the first section of the crane being dismantled.
Oh, it's one of the worst days in Kelowna history. I've been here 20 years, and it's a day that we'll never forget.
A day filled with heartbreak. There are 2 investigations underway here tonight, one to ensure there is no criminal element, the other to ensure worker safety. Scott?
All right, Michelle, still a dangerous scene there tonight, and tragically, that 5th man's body is still buried in the rubble. What is being done to recover his body tonight?
Yeah, so police say that they are working with engineers and other officials to try and safely dismantle part of that collapsed crane. They actually brought in another crane this afternoon to try and assist with that. But at this point, nothing's been done. They are still working on that. Scott?
All right, thank you, Michelle.